Where Product Meets Design is brought to you by Fuego UX, a leading UX research, strategy, and design consultancy.
Hey, Sarfraz, thanks so much for joining the show today.
Alex, it's good to be here.
Yeah, and to get started, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in product and product management?
I started as a computer scientist by training with information retrieval, building search engines as my very first role out of grad school. Very quickly transitioned into product management, which has been interesting. I think I got into the role when the discipline was very new, probably only at Microsoft, Google, and Yahoo at that point in time. Google are absolutely known for its APM program run by Marissa Myers, and such a big success now over 2 decades. And Microsoft, Steven Sinofsky was the one who started the program manager role, if you will, and I was one of those. We had different flavors of the role, and I was fairly technical in what I did, focused on execution, working internally with different products at Microsoft while growing the infrastructure at Bing. So uh, ultimately led to many different roles over the last decade for me, and I've been very happy with what I had the opportunity to do.
Nice. Are you ready to hop into the lightning round?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Let's start with this one. What's a common myth about product management?
Common statement people make, which I think also gets people excited about product management, is that product managers are like CEOs of their products or features, which I don't think I fully agree, purely because of a couple of factors. Number one is that most product roles do not have people directly reporting to them. You might have other product managers if you're a
Yep.
group PM or a director of PM. But otherwise, all the other functions from from product development, engineering, marketing, sales, design are not reporting to you.
Yeah. What's one thing about product that nobody agrees with you about?
Newer technologies are going to have an impact, hopefully positive impact, on how teams operate, teams become more efficient. For example, OpenAI and Sam Altman were talking about, single person $1 billion startups. But the core is smaller teams having bigger impact. Now, what I believe and what we believe is that product is going to be that pivotal role, managing the P&L, managing your resources, and basically driving it. So we'll see, but that's something I think will be an interesting transition for product.
Yeah. What's an underrated or indispensable tool for product managers?
I'm more inclined towards tools that enable more design thinking, building service blueprints, mind maps, so on and so forth. And there are a few tools in that space, but ultimately that helps you think through the problem, the customer impact, the KPIs that you care about, all of that. Not to say that okay, these tools do not enable you, but I think there's so much more focus on execution
Yeah.
versus broader thinking, connecting dots, so on and so forth.
Let's talk about advice you have for those people that might be looking to break into or are starting out in product management.
I think that's an important topic. Uh, Something I see when people reach out to me, engineers who are transitioning into product, younger PMs who are looking to grow, both, right? Where people are like, okay, product management has been associated with either user experience, where some people have this notion that, okay, product management is only applicable when you're defining like a user experience based, mobile app or a web tool. Again, that's
Hmm.
going to change significantly with AI. So that's one misconception people have. The other is they have to have like certain technical skills because product has been associated with companies like Google, Meta, Microsoft, so on and so forth. People assume that okay, you need to have some sort of big tech, focused skills. I think both of those are kind of incorrect. for the most part. It is always great to have some sort of data analysis skills or other technical skills, but I think great product managers have come from different backgrounds, right? Arts to economics to other skills, if you will. So three essential skills that are really relevant when it comes to product managers is, we already talked about people skills, right? Really working with people, influencing without authority, curiosity, uh, super important because you inherently have to be, keen to know what your market is, who your key competitors are, where is the industry headed, all of that. And number three is basically around data, right? Wanting to get into the data, be data informed. I think these are important, and a growth mindset, if you will.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to now at Mighty Capital.
So I've known the leadership at Mighty for some time now, and Mighty Capital essentially has two distinct entities. One is the investor side of the business, where we invest in B2B SaaS, uh, AI enterprise products for the most part, with across a number of industry verticals, including healthcare, fintech, and a couple more in that space. At least the space that I'm involved in, we're looking at investing anywhere up to $5 million for a at a Series A round, if you will. But the other side of Mighty Capital, which is a nonprofit, is Products That Count. It's an amazing community of 500 plus product leaders, mid-sized to large companies. I've been part of that community over the last couple of years while I was with Johnson and Johnson. And it's an amazing ecosystem for peer-to-peer product engagement, as well as defining what we think product management needs to be. Something we talked about earlier in the discussion, where we think, okay, product managers are going to lead the P&L and really define what the next thing will be for your organization. So that's a little about the two entities there.
Yeah, let's dive into that a little bit. You're touching on where you think the field's going to go. I want to add, explain that to me. Like, where do you think product's going to go in the next 10 years? You mentioned managing P&L. What else do you think is going to change, or how do you think they're actually going to be able to fully manage P&L?
Yeah, I think it's an important topic and very, very relevant at this point in time, right? Because a lot of organizations, including like Airbnb and others, have talked about, certain redundancies when it comes to product roles and, building that efficiency within their organization. That doesn't mean product managers are, not adding value or such, right? So it's about finding the right mix. Product managers will be in a position to cover a number of areas, right? So you will be looking at people who are well-rounded when it comes to skills. So you have some understanding of the user experience, UX design, if you will, marketing, product marketing might be part of your role. Obviously, you're closely engaging with engineers, so on and so forth, right? So those are three examples. Again, that differs from organization to organizations. The other part which we covered is smaller teams having large impact, which means there's probably one product leader, and then you are managing all the way up from the P&L and the cost value trade-off for your product, and then also defining what the roadmap and strategy is going to be with the right level of support. And I mean, this could mean engineering resources, but also agents, doing your marketing, and so on and so forth.
What should product teams be doing with AI now? There's so much noise out there. There's so many people trying to build their own. I see a new tool come out every day. What's that like? How should a product org drive value quickly with AI, or where should they be focusing?
One way of thinking about it is, this whole paradigm of user experience is going to evolve, right? Where we're now talking about natural language interfaces. I mean, those have been around, but driven by AI. So it's the user experience is in some way inherent to the product, right? You're not dependent on clicks and scrolling and the experiences which we've been used to. So that's one. And how do product managers think about this as they define the product, whether it's in the mobile form factor, spatial computing form factor, or another, right? It's going to be like, applicable across the board. The other is, how do you sort of look at, customer feedback and, customer engagement, iterating faster? How do you, sort of conceptualize some of those experiences? I think is going to be interesting. And then how do you get that feedback to improve over a period of time? So
Cool. Well, Sarfraz, I really appreciate the discussion today, and thank you so much for sharing these insights.
thanks, Alex. Thanks for the opportunity.